Hi, it's Tansel here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to memorize numbers using a very basic memory technique. Now, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel as it helps the content grow and get out there to as many people as I can. And that's my goal, is to spread this message. So if you do subscribe and like the videos, it helps a lot. So let's get into the video. Now, the technique that I'm going to show you today is called the number rhyme technique. And if you want more detailed explanation of it, click into the video description down below where it says Improve Your Memory 200%, where I go into it in greater detail. This technique, the number rhyme technique, is pretty simple. What it focuses on is putting numbers as images. Right, now, why is that important? Well, the brain finds it difficult to encode numbers, right? But if we can encode images and create a story out of them, much more easier to remember. So let's get into it. How this works is that we've got a rhyming image for each number. One could be bun or fun or gun. Two could be shoe, poo, right? Three could be tree, bee, and so on. So we go all the way to 10. Right, so I've got my little list as well, and my list goes something like this. 1 bun, 2 shoe, 3 tree, 4 door, 5 beehive, 6 sticks, 7 heaven, 8 gate, 9 wine, and 10 pen. So here we go. Now, there is another system like the number rhyme technique, which I'll explain at the end of the video, so keep watching for that to be revealed. But for the moment, think of that rhyming system, okay? 4 door, 2 shoe, 1 bun, gun. So you can make up your own. If you want, you can pause the video, write down your own list of 10 items. So you can write down your own list that's rhyming, and once you've done that, we'll get into the next portion of the video. Okay, so now you've done that, right? Or you've tuned in and you understand how that system works. What we're going to do is use those numbers in sequence to be able to memorize. Now, let's take a number to memorize. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute the numbers for the images, right, with the rhyming images. So let's look at an example, right? Let's say we want to take, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, 4 digits we want to remember. It could be a PIN number, it could be whatever you want, right? Or it could be nothing. Just an example of how to use this technique, right? So 6 was rhyming with sticks, right? 7 is heaven. So maybe I'm playing with sticks and all of a sudden it flies up into heaven, right? The heavens swallow up the sticks, right? And then after 7, heaven is 8, and that's a gate, right? So I had to climb all the way up into the heaven's gate just to retrieve my sticks. And then 9 is wine. So as soon as I retrieved my sticks, I was really tired and someone gave me a sip of wine. That's a little story there. Now, it's a pretty silly story. Now, you can make your own little adjustments to that. You can make it serious, you can make it fun, you can make it exciting, but that's how you're going to remember the number. So when you go to recall that, what you're going to do is going to say, okay, what was the story? And say story. I remembered there was sticks. Okay, so that was 6. And the sticks, where did the sticks go up to? Went all the way to heaven, right? So that must be 7, right? And in heaven, what happened in heaven? There was a gate. I remember, I had to open a gate in heaven. And then what happened after I opened the gate? There was wine. Someone gave me wine, right? So that's how it works. The images trigger the numbers. That's the number rhyme technique. Another way of using it is if you've got a longer number, instead of going one image at a time, because it's going to take you a fairly long time to memorize, you can group 2 images together into stories. And I'll go through that right now, right? So let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? You got 1 and 2. So for example, in my list, I got gun and shoe. So I shot the shoe with my gun. Right, and I see that order first. I'm shooting first, and then it shoots the shoe, right? So gun and shoe. So I've got that together. Now 3 is tree. So tree and door, right? 3 and 4 is tree and door. So after I've shot the shoe, now I've got a tree fell on it, and from the tree, the wood from the tree, I made a door. Okay, so let's say you want to memorize a random digit number, right? What we're going to do is we're going to do the same principle here, right? So we got the sequence in order before. So let's do something random, right? Let's take the number 2564. 2 is shoe, 5 is beehive. I threw my shoe into the beehive, right? So that's 2 and 5. And 6, 4 is sticks and door. So we've got shoe into the beehive, and then the beehive maybe exploded into all these sticks. And then I ran straight into the door because the sticks were coming towards me. So you see how this works? Again, same process as before. All we're doing is making a story. That's the easy way of doing it. Now, if you've got more than, say, 10 digits, it's going to get quite complicated, right? Because you'll be making lots of stories. And if you get a story mixed up in the middle, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to remember the ones afterward, potentially, right? And it's going to really hurt your recall. So in order to really work on this, I'd probably say just do 10 digits. If you want to memorize more than 10 digits, we'll look at other techniques. But for now, the number rhyme system is really good for remembering not just numbers. It's good for remembering words. And I used to essentially run public speaking courses based on this number rhyme technique. And the way to do that was just to put keywords of your talk into the number rhyming. And that's it. So for example, if you're talking about, technology, right? The first one could be, introduction. You're introducing yourself with a gun, right? Next one could be laptops or whatever. So you take out your shoe and you start typing on your laptop on your shoe. So you can make up stuff like that as well. So that's the practical usage of the number rhyme. But for now, we're just looking at memorizing numbers. And there's numbers in, all walks of life and everything that we do now. So it could be birthdays, anniversaries, could be PIN numbers, passwords, you name it. So this is a really quick and easy way to memorize the numbers. Now, I did mention at the start of this video that I'll go through another technique that's very similar to number rhyme. And that technique is called the number shape system, right? Number shape system. So if you look at this system is exactly the same as number rhyme, but instead of the numbers rhyming with the images, the numbers look like shapes, right? So number 1 could look like a pen, right? Number 2, if you follow it, could look like a swan. So you have to draw these out. Now you could draw out whatever you want, right? It doesn't have to be the images that I've created, but number 2 could look like a swan. Number 3 could be a bird flying sideways or something like that. It could even be a McDonald's symbol, Macca's, as we call it in Australia, right? Number 4 could be a boat, like a little sailboat this way. Number 5 could be a hook, right? Number 6 could be an elephant's trunk. So you can see that rolling out. Number 7 could be a nose, or it could even be an edge of a cliff, right? Number 8 could be sunglasses, so it's sort of turned around that way. Number 9, I usually have a basketball ring or a hoop for number 9, and number 10 could be like a bat and ball. So it could be a baseball, softball, it could be a cricket bat and ball, whatever it is. So that's what you're doing. So when you're memorizing the numbers, now you can have 2, 5, 6, 4. You can have, 2 look like a swan, 5 look like a hook. Well, the swan got hooked onto the hook, right? And then what happened was the elephant took the hook away, and 4 was rhyming with, not rhyming, 4 had the image of the boat, and the boat came and took them all away. Right? So you can, again, make up those silly stories. Again, my stories may not be memorable to you, so you might come up with better ones. You might come up with better images and better rhymes. So play around with those techniques, and just essentially get onto those websites, download some random numbers, or just get someone to write some random numbers for you and play around, have some fun. Because the more you use this, the easier things will get, and you'll start remembering numbers, and you'll be like, whoa, how did this ever happen? I've got a terrible memory, and I'm memorizing all these numbers, right? That's what happened to me. That's how I first got started into memory, right? I never really believed I could do it. And then once I started memorizing simple things like these numbers, it gave me massive confidence. Right, so don't just do it because you want to remember numbers. Do it because you want to maybe work on your confidence. Because I can guarantee once you can do it, your confidence will grow. Maybe you want to test yourself with 20 digits. Go ahead, right? It's difficult. It's not easy when you start, but why not? Why not do it? Test yourself with 40, 50, right? Give yourself a challenge. If 10 is too easy, give yourself a challenge and see how you go. Cool, so that's it for me for today. Hope you've taken out something from these. Remember to please like this video if you like it, and subscribe, because I want to get more of these lessons out there. I'll still put videos out there on other professional development elements like memory and stress management and memory and advanced learning and things like that. But for now, I guess the majority of the content on this site will be about lessons and how to, I guess, take away from these lessons so you can use it in your daily life. So I'll do a lot of practical stuff. I'll do a lot of memory training as well. So please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.